Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners and hi to any newbies. It is so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while, and if you like what you see, give me a thumbie. They are free. So just to let you know, I am batch filming today, so a lot of the videos you will see this week I will be in the same outfit, same hair, but I have to take opportunities where I can to film. And today it is a Sunday, so I am able to film more videos in one go. So that explains that. Anyway, why are you here today? You are here because I have some swatches and samples to share with you. Now, you may remember that I did a Temu haul recently and I got some yarn in that haul. So I decided to test it out a little bit and see what my thoughts and opinions are on that yarn. And the yarn that I chose to use in this swatches and samples is the knit yarn Weaving for Love Enmei. That one there. There we go. And the camera is not doing it justice. It is more greens than it is blues, but it is nice and bright. It's being muted a little bit, but it is a lot more bright and funky than that. I might take pictures of the samples I have made and put them on my community tab so you can see the true colour representation through the photo, as my camera likes to dull things out a little bit. But yes, this is the yarn that I chose to use for this swatches and samples. And the other info that I have on here is that it is made in China. Lay flat to dry, do not wring, dry in the shade, hand wash at 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. Do not bleach, use natural detergent. And that is literally it. It doesn't give me a yarn weight. It doesn't really tell me what it's made of. But my guess is that it is acrylic. It is nice and squishy soft, and my guess is that it is between a 2 and a 3. It is actually really quite nice to work with. Now, is it the most luxurious yarn? No. Is it a rough yarn? No. It is a nice, soft, basic acrylic. And I had no troubles using it whatsoever. It's nice colours, has a nice feel, works up lovely. See that? It looks more like a 3, but when you use it and work with it, it kind of works up a smidgy bit thinner than that. So that's why I'm saying between a 2 and a 3 weight. But I actually really like this. So I suppose if I get my phone and I go onto my orders, I can remind both myself and you what it actually is. Okay, so here we go. Where are the details? Where are the details? Let's have a look. Is it gonna go through the itemized? It's currently sold out, so I think that's why it's not showing me the details and stuff. Bear with me a second, guys. Oh my goodness. How can I do it a different way? Yeah, it's not giving me the stats or anything. I do believe it's 100% acrylic, and when I'm looking at my past history, it's not giving me the itemized bill either. Maybe in my emails. Let's have a look. Temu. Sorry guys, I feel like I'm wasting your time. I don't mean to be. So Temu. Here we go. Let's have a look at my receipt. No, that's not helpful. No, I can't find it, guys. It was reasonably priced though. I do remember that. Maybe go back and look at the Temu haul, the original video, and it should give you all the details there, because I did go through it and give you all of that. But I think it's a really nice, inexpensive, basic acrylic. And I probably would repurchase. I would probably wait until it's on a super good deal, because I obviously like the more readily available yarns. I'd be more inclined to buy them because I can get my hands on it straight away, much faster, and you know, similar yarns, you know, that sort of thing. But it is a repeat purchase for me, and I probably will in the future, especially if I decide to make a bigger project with this, because I'm obviously going to need a little bit more. The feel of the yarn, it feels like there is some kind of waxy coating to it. It's not gross, it doesn't feel nasty, it doesn't leave a residue on your hands or anything, but you can tell that it has been slightly treated to give it that slight luster, and that feel is actually really, really nice, and you notice it more in a worked up piece than you do when it's in the ball itself. But it is super squish, as you can see. It is not rough at all, guys. It is really, really quite nice yarn. So I will show you the crochet swatch first. For the crochet one, I used my 4mm dots. There we go. And I did 2 rows of single crochet, using American terms, 2 rows of single, 2 rows of half double, 2 rows of double, and then I did some bobbles. And I always do bobbles because I like to look at the stitch definition, and even though bobbles are not a favourite stitch of mine, they really do help show how good the yarn is at displaying its colour, the stitches, etc. So here is the crocheted swatch for you. Again, the colour isn't really that accurate. Like I said, it is more of a green than a blue, and they are much more vibrant in real life than what is showing on the camera. But as you can see, those bobbles are loud and proud. You definitely know that they are bobbles. So the stitch definition is really quite lovely. And if I bring it a little closer for you, even the basic stitches down here have a really nice definition to them as well. Because it's variegated, obviously the colours pool in a different way. So down here in the single crochets, it's a little haphazard. But as you go up to these 2 rows of half double, I really like how they started pooling. Really, really lovely. And then obviously you get up to the double crochet and it's again a little bit more haphazard. Now all of them are beautiful and gives a really nice colour effect on projects you may make, but I do think that the pooling of the colours is leaning more to the half double crochet, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. And then those bobbles, guys, you just cannot mistake that those bobbles are standing loud and proud in this little swatch I've done for you. It is, you know, quite squish. It's not, you know, the plumpiest, squishiest, but there is still a little bit of plump there, which is really, really nice. And overall, I think for the price, the quality, the stitch definition, the colour, it is worth ordering some. So that is the crochet swatch. And yes, I got my knitting needles out. Now when I have done these swatches and samples videos before, I have told you that I have very limited knitting needles, and they're normally the metal straight needles. And a couple of you have suggested that maybe I struggle with the knitting because of the tools that I've got. So I went onto Amazon and I did look for some circular needles with the cables, and I just got a really inexpensive set. Now this is really cheap. It's not the best quality. It is not anything like any of the bigger brands who make knitting needles whatsoever. But for the purposes for me, when all I ever do is knit the swatches and samples, I don't need anything fancy pants. I don't need anything of good quality or high money as yet. I just wanted to try the circulars out. And as you can see here, I have them put in the end of my yarn. So this is what the case looks like. So very inexpensive. And inside you have a couple of extra tools, and then we go into the circulars themselves. But the trouble for me, I decided to use an 8, but I didn't know if that was UK 8 or US 8. I tried to Google, I tried to fathom it out. It really didn't make much sense to me because I am one of those crafters that go by millimeters. So I think I do have a knitting needle gauge, so I might have to crack that one out so that I can label these knitting needles myself, or if any of you guys are familiar and may know. So there are several different sizes in this little set. Now they look metal. I'm not 100% convinced they are metal. I don't really know, to be honest with you. They may be, but like cheap metal. They're really lightweight. They really feel not the best quality whatsoever. But what I did like using these is, instead of my big long straight metal needles, and I feel a bit like a chicken when I'm doing my knitting, having these and being able to do it, you know, closer to my body and in a more comfortable stance meant that I knit this swatch very, very quickly, and it did make it slightly more enjoyable for me. So those that gave me that tip, thank you very much. It is a very valid tip. And obviously with knitting, it does curl at the bottom, and I say this every time I do knitting. I did knit one way, purl the other, and I can't remember if that's stockinette or garter. I think it's stockinette, but do not quote me on it. And this is the little knit sample for you. I'm quite pleased with how neat those little teeny tiny stitches are for me. They are really, really nice. So yes, and I do feel that I can show you the knit sample much better using these needles as well. So like I said, top tip from my viewers, thank you so much. As you can see, it's all knit stitches on the front, and it is all the purl bumpies on the back, and they're pretty neat. I was quite surprised actually. My edges are quite straight as well. So you never know, guys. I may be tempted to start a knit project, but not right now. I've got too much going on. But this has made it slightly more enjoyable for me. So who knows? Never say never, right? So this is how the yarn pulled using the knit one way, the purl the next. And there is no real rhyme or reason. There is no real definitive pooling. But it is still a really pretty variegated yarn and would make a really nice scarf for maybe a little girl. So, I mean, I'd quite like a scarf in this, and I'm not a little girl, so that's a little bit limiting. But I could totally see a scarf made up in this and it be super pretty. And like I said, the colours are more vibrant in real life. I think I'm definitely going to take pictures of these and post them on my community tab so you can see a more accurate colour representation. But it was an absolutely dream to work with. It did not split at all in either the crochet or the knitting. It is really nicely wound. It is a consistent thickness. Even, you know, I obviously used more in the crochet sample than the knit sample because crochet takes significantly more yarn than what knitting does. But yeah, overall it was a really high scorer actually. Like I said, I would happily purchase this again. I am racking my brains to think what kind of project I'm going to make with it. And I did get a 10-pack of a different brand, but it is pretty similar to this. So I think I could kind of blend this in with that 10-pack and be able to make a bigger project. But it is absolutely really nice yarn. Is it like my favoritist ever? No. Is it the worst I've ever used? No. It is quite up there, guys. I would truly recommend this yarn from Temu. It gets a glowing review from me. I have nothing but good things to say about it. I mean, the only downfall is obviously it's coming from Temu, and you know, delivery of your orders can take a little bit, but of course it's going to take a little while. It's coming from China, so as long as you are not in a hurry and you can wait for your order to come in, go for it. It is really quite nice quality, actually. Much more of a positive review than I thought that I was initially going to give it. So this one was a surprise one for me. I really enjoyed it. I really like it. I can highly recommend it for you. A lot of you were interested to know what the Temu yarn was like. I obviously got some of the Fairyland here as well, and I haven't yet worked with that. So maybe that could be the next swatches and samples. If that is something that you are looking for, let me know down in the comments. Or if there is any yarn that you can see behind me that you would like swatches and samples done in, just let me know and I will see what I can do, because it really does help to see how the yarn looks worked up in both of the fibre arts, because they really are very different in appearance. You know it's the same yarn, but it has a completely different look. So, you know, depending on what your fibre art of choice is, will depend on if that is a pretty enough yarn for you to want to purchase. So I really do think that these videos serve a purpose. So like I said, if there's anything you want me to kind of do swatches and samples on that you know that I have, or if there's a yarn that you've always been intrigued by, not sure if I have it, ask. I may do, because I have totes and stuff that aren't on display as well. I am more than happy to give you guys what you need and what you would like on this channel. So like I said, I hope that this was of interest to you. I still have other Temu yarn to kind of work with and figure out if it would be a repeat purchase or not. But for the price and the quality and the colour, the stitch definition, definitely a repeat purchase, and I would recommend it to others as well. But it is just a basic acrylic, guys. It's not anything fancy pants, but it does the job. It is pretty, and you get your stitch definition in it as well. So there we have it. That is the knit yarn from Temu. So thanks for joining me today. That is pretty much it for this video. Like I said, let me know down below if there are other swatches and samples you want me to do, and please do head back tomorrow, because there is a very interesting video that you guys might want to see. Just saying. But until then, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one, or around the YouTube streets. Bye guys, love ya.